Hello and welcome to Henry Wheeler's Movie Reviews, where now we're going to do our best of 2020 lists. Obviously, I would have liked this to have been posted before 2020 ended, but here we are. This is going to be a list of my favourite documentaries of the year. There was originally going to be a whole list for just films in general, which included feature films and documentaries, but I decided to avoid mixing both of them because it would have left out a lot of documentaries which I really want to highlight, and also it would have left out some feature films that I wanted to include also. So this is a compromise of sorts that I may do in the future, but it was such a good year, so I just want to highlight my favourites from this year. So, quick interjection, there were a few that I didn't manage to see before I made this video, but they were released in 2020, hence why it's being uploaded 6 months after it should have been, as I just kept finding new films that were in contention for the best of the year, and I want this list to be as accurate representation of the year as possible and to not leave anything out. So as a result, there will be some interjections interspersed in this list. So without further ado, let's get going. At number 50, we have Space Dogs. At number 49, we have Becoming. At number 48, we've got Hope Frozen. At number 47, we have Giving Voice. At number 46, we have Howard. At number 45 is I Am Grieta. At number 44 is Disclosure, which a lot of people had quite high up in the list, but I just wasn't as impressed with it as a documentary as other people were. At number 43 is Bruce Springsteen's Letter for You. At number 42 is A Secret Love. At number 41 is Max Richter's Sleep. At number 40, Liverpool FC, The 30-Year Wait. At number 39 is A Crock of Gold, A Few Rounds with Shane McGowan. At number 38, we have Bloody Nose, Empty Pockets. At number 37, we have the great documentary First and Last Men from Johan Johansson. Tragically died recently, with a great narration by Tilda Swinton. It's an unusual doc, but it's really worth checking out. At number 36 is Finding Sally, which is a really interesting documentary about the filmmaker searching for the life and what happened to a relative of hers in Ethiopia. And number 35 is The Octopus Teacher, which was higher up in the list until I saw a video of someone pointing out how creepy the main protagonist of the documentary is. I sort of agree to a certain extent, but I still think it's wonderfully made. So, at number 34 we have Rewind, which is a really harrowing documentary about child abuse, but I did really like it. At number 33, we have a really great concert film, Tripping with Nils Frahm. I'm such a fan of his, and it's just wonderfully shot. It makes you feel like you're there. It's great. So number 32, one of two short films in this list, although this isn't really short, it's around 40 minutes. The Speed Cubers is a really good documentary about speed cubers, people who try to complete Rubik's Cubes in as fast a time as possible, and it focuses specifically on two different competitors. It's a lot of fun. And number 31 is Circus of Books, something that I didn't really have much expectation for because it didn't get a huge reception, but I really enjoyed it. I thought the main couple were just really lovely, and it's a really interesting story. If you've not heard of it, check it out. It's really wild. So at number 30 is Be Natural, The Untold Story of Alice Guy Blanchet. This was a huge surprise to me. I didn't know anything about Alice Guy, one of the first ever filmmakers, and created the first ever narrative film. If you don't know much about it or anything, there's certainly many people who are film historians who didn't know anything about her. So yeah, check it out. It's really, really good. At number 29, we've got The Beastie Boys Story, which is a really interesting documentary that is essentially Ad Rock and Mike D on a stage, and it's essentially a film performance of a slideshow that they give. Like, it's a presentation, essentially. It just works really, really well, and I enjoyed it a huge amount. It's a shame that they've split up, but I understand it after MCA died. And number 28, Athlete A, which documents the child abuse in the female Olympic gymnastics team. Yeah, it's really harrowing. It was originally lower on my list, but the more I thought about it, the more I've kind of realised that it's a really great documentary. At number 27, we have Midnight Family, a documentary about a family who own a private ambulance who essentially go and pick up people when an ambulance hasn't turned up and then ask them to pay like $200 for the service at the end. It's deeply uncomfortable. It also really makes me very, very fortunate. Well, yeah, that I live in a country where you don't have to pay for ambulances, and also that I'm from a country where you don't have to pay for healthcare. It's really, it's a huge blessing. And number 26 is I have a great documentary, The Trial, which is about Dilma Rousseff's impeachment, which was more like a coup, to be perfectly frank. And it just shows just how corrupt the Brazilian government is. Not like it's a huge surprise, but it is quite staggering. So number 25 is Coup 53, which is a really interesting film about the 1953 coup that unseated the first democratically elected Iranian leader, and whether the UK was involved, because they never confirmed their involvement in it. I mean, this documentary is pretty damning. And at number 24 is The Three Deaths of Marissa Escobedo, which is a outrageously frustrating watch and a huge exercise in futility from the one Marissa Escobedo, because it really highlights the atrocities happening against women in Juarez, Mexico. And number 23 we have On the Record, which is a really harrowing doc. There's quite a lot of harrowing docs in here, revolving the sexual abuse of Russell Simmons, and it's honestly astonishing that nothing has happened to him at this point. And number 22 is You Don't Know Me, which is to a certain extent like a bit of an essay on showgirls, which I've not seen. But this documentary did make me interested in seeing just how bad it is, because yeah, it doesn't look good. And number 21 is White Riot, which is involving the Rock Against Racism gig and the organisation in general, and it's just, it's a great piece of work. And number 20, really at times infuriating documentary, Boys State, which is about a camp where boys and girls, although focusing on the boys here, learn about politics and learn about democracy, and it's crazy. So number 19 is Toni Morrison, The Pieces I Am. I didn't know anything about Toni Morrison, but wow, she is a charismatic lady. I had a lot of fun watching her just talk in front of the camera. I'm intrigued to read her books now, so give it a shot. And number 18 is Indianara, which is revolving a trans activist in Brazil, and it's a really poignant piece of work. It's infuriating at times, but I mean, they're just an awesome person, so it's really hard not to like it, unless you're a TERF. So, yeah. And number 17 is Got Totally Under Control. That could not be more incorrect. A documentary about how the US handled the COVID-19 pandemic. Not well. Not well. Plus, it's an Alex Gibney documentary. I love Alex Gibney. I think he's just consistently great. He's one of my favourite US documentary filmmakers, so always watch what he's got to offer. And at number 16 is Being a Human Person, which is the documentary about Roy Anderson and the making of his final film about endlessness. And I've been a fan of his for a few years now, and I just love the aesthetic of his films, but I never realised that this was kind of all built on sets in his studio with lots of miniatures being used. It's amazing, just building sets for like a month just for one scene, and then, you know, changing to do, you know, whatever the next kind of vignette is going to be. So number 15 is Feels Good Man, which it is a really interesting telling of how Pepe the Frog essentially became a alt-right hate symbol. And you get interviews with the original artist who created him, and he just wanted to make a character that people liked, and he doesn't like seeing him being portrayed as this hate figure, and it's kind of sad. And number 14 is Overseas, which is a really slow documentary, but it's excellent. It revolves around these Filipino women who are essentially trained to become housekeepers and do childcare as well. It really lifts the lid on a lot of different things, and it's eye-opening for sure. So number 13 is David Attenborough, A Life on Our Planet. I mean, I don't really need to tell you anything about this because you know what it's about. It's David Attenborough talking. It's music to my ears, and it's a really important documentary because it really does hit home what we're doing to our planet. It's a depressing watch, but it does have some resolution to a certain extent, some hope. And number 12, Time, which is about a modern day abolitionist who's trying to free her husband from prison, who's serving a 60-year sentence for robbing a bank. It's an infuriating watch, but well worth your time. So number 11, we have Crip Camp, Disability Revolution, which is a really great document of the civil rights movement for people with disabilities. It's just a really fist-pumping watch. It makes you really glad that we have people from all different walks of life, because it just makes planet Earth as wonderful as it is. So now, we're into the top 10. And number 10, we've got Dick Johnson is Dead. A document of the filmmaker's dad who's slowly dying from dementia, and she decides to make a film about every eventuality in which he would die, and he agrees to it. It's a really weird film, but it's really beautiful and well measured. It doesn't feel exploitative of her dad. It's a tearjerker. So number 9, we have the second short film in the list. John Was Trying to Contact Aliens, which is a 15-minute short film about a man who's trying to contact aliens, but when doing so, he found something else. And it's a really beautiful film. How his family put up with his hobby is quite remarkable, to be perfectly honest, and how he had the money to pay for it all. But anyway, yeah. So number 8, we've got Talking About Trees, which is an excellent documentary about these 4 Sudanese filmmakers who are trying to do a screening. They haven't specified what the film is going to be, but they're going to show a film in the local cinema, and because cinema screenings have been outlawed, they try to get permission to screen it, and it's just utterly ridiculous, the backwardsness that you cannot even show a film. It's so ridiculous. But all 4 of those guys are just so charismatic and fun to watch. They're just really lovely. So, number 7 is the Danish film Love Child. It's an extraordinary tale of an Iranian family who find themselves in less than ideal circumstances, whereby a child has been born out of an affair while the two were in essentially unhappy marriages, and they can't get divorced in Iran, so they flee to Turkey in an attempt to try and gain asylum. And it really sheds a light on just how arduously bureaucratic that process of applying for asylum can be, and how difficult it is, given it's not guaranteed that you will get a place. Anyone who has anything disparaging in any way to say about refugees, they should really take a look and watch this film. It is by no means as cut and dry and, easy. Slip in and then that's it. It's not as simple as that. So number 6, The Australian Dream, which is about Adam Goodes, who received horrific racial abuse. And it really just highlights just how stitched in casual racism is to Australian society. It will have you scratching your head as to how any of this is still going on, sadly. And number 5 is a wonderful piece of work, Rising Phoenix, which is about the history of the Paralympics, and more specifically the 2012 and 2016 Paralympics in London and Rio respectively. I did think that a family friend of ours, Steve, would be involved because he won 2 golds and a bronze. Shout out Steve. He's not in the documentary, sadly. It's an excellent film which just shows how people can triumph over adversity. I couldn't do anything they're doing, so yeah, it's incredible. And number 4 is Welcome to Chechnya, which is about the horrific human rights violations in Chechnya towards LGBT people, and involving a human rights organization who try to safely relocate those in Chechnya who are gay, lesbian, trans. It's horrifying. But they use a really interesting technique. Instead of blurring the face, they have a AI, artificial face over theirs that you see the whole time, and it has this kind of uncanny valley quality to it. And there's one really excellent moment where one of the anonymous people come forward to the press, and you just see the face kind of like fade off, and it reveals their real face, and it's just a really creative moment. So number 3, we have David Byrne's American Utopia. This was so much fun. My aunt and uncle went to see it on Broadway and got to meet David Byrne afterwards. Well, Gel. It's just a really excellent show. It really highlights just how important immigrants are to society. And also, you've got great songs. I was surprised he did Lazy. But I love that song, so yeah. So number 2, we have a Norwegian documentary that really floored me. It's involving this artist who was living in Oslo, who had 2 of their paintings that were being displayed in a gallery, and they were stolen in an art heist. And shortly afterwards, they did find the culprits. In the courtroom, she walked up to one of the men who were involved and asked if she could do his portrait. Subsequently, they became really good friends, and it's such a heartwarming documentary, and it tells you a lot about humanity, and you really shouldn't judge a book by its cover, and forgiveness is important, I think. It's just a really lovely story of 2 people who unexpectedly just became really, really great friends. So number 1, it should come as no surprise, it is Collective, a really visceral documentary about the corruption in the Romanian government. This really pissed me off. Essentially, it starts with a fire in a nightclub which results in several people dying, but many people having severe burns, and those people who were hospitalised were dying of easily treated bacterial infections, and it's found that they've essentially been watering down all the antibacterial substances. It's infuriating, but it gives you hope that things can change, possibly, but yeah, who knows. Anyway, so that was my list. Let me know what you thought of it. I'll be back with a few more videos shortly for my best of the year and my worst of the year. Until then, bye bye.